Hello everyone, my name is Frosty and I'm a Nintendo variety streamer on Twitch, Nintendo collector, as you guys can tell. But today we are going to be starting. I like to showcase my Super Nintendo collection. This is one of my smaller collections because SNES is actually very expensive. So I have, of course, mine still looks pretty good because, except for here because it's been exposed to UV light slash sunlight. But they support like Nintendo used like some kind of cheap plastic on this thing, so if this guy has like way too much exposure in the sunlight, it's gonna turn into like I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's like yellowish. You do not want that on your Super Nintendo if you wanted to make it look long as good as possible. But I like this one. Now I don't know what version this is, so all I know is that Super Nintendo was definitely the first console I've ever played in my entire life. Speaking of, we have two controllers. Now, these two controllers are interchangeable for like you could play this one. This one actually originally bundled up with the system. So, and it's actually much longer compared to the Famicom system or a Famicom controller. But what I like about the Famicom controller is that it has the color buttons, which is really cool. Like I would rather just sacrifice cord length to have these guys and play these guys. And what's funny is that I use this controller way more compared to this one on stream. Because I mean, who doesn't like colorful buttons? I mean, I would rather take that any day. But the only con about this Famicom controller is that it's short. It's short in the cord length. So, but it's not a big problem, in my personal opinion. So, showcasing the games. There's not that many games, but I like to show it off anyways. Donkey Kong Country 1. This is the first Donkey Kong Country game I've ever played, and the very first video game I've ever played. I was about 4 years old at the time, and oh my goodness. I could not complete this game until when I was much older. I think I first completed it when I was in high school. And just a little note, guys, all Super Nintendo games use a save battery. I think they last about 7 to 9 years, I think. Take it with candy sugar, because I honestly don't remember. So, had to get the battery changed, and it's still a great game. It's just that, I don't know how the heck people can finish this in like an hour and a half or so. So, but you want real challenge, in my personal opinion, this is the hardest one to complete for just the main game. But Diddy Kong's Conquest, this one I actually played a slightly more compared to the first one. But to be honest, guys, like I prefer the first one over the second one these days because I don't know. What was it called? Fiery Furnace is such a bad level in this game. Animal Antics is actually one of my favorable levels, but Fiery Furnace is just so awful. Holy cow. But don't let that ruin you because that's only extra game content or the road to 102%. This one's 101, this is 102. Love this game. And if you guys already noticed, there's no like million seller stickers or player's choice or whatnot because I don't like those versions. And then you got to conclude the trilogy with Donkey Kong Country 3. This, in my opinion, if you're going for full completion, this is the hardest one to do. But if you're just playing the standard game, the regular game from point A to point B, not Conquest, Diddy Kong Country, DKC 2 is the hardest one. DKC 3, hardest one for miscellaneous stuff. And this concludes with 103%. Now, in DKC 2 and 3, there's 104% for 2 and 105% for 3. But you need to do like the hard mode and whatnot, which in my opinion is not worth it. Yes, guys. Yes, look at this beauty. One of the few million copies ever produced for Earthbound. Earthbound is a really good game. I've only completed it one time. It's a JRPG game. It's very, very long for a Super Nintendo game. But if you're into JRPGs, try to get this on the Virtual Console if you can for the Wii U. But if you're willing to spend like $200 or maybe $250 on a loose cartridge of Earthbound, go for it. But I don't recommend it. It's a very good game, as much as I hate to say it. So let's see. Next up, oh yeah, I almost forgot to mention. So if you notice like these like cart locks, Apparently, people were complaining about these variants because you can't automatically take it out. You have to use the eject button for the Super Nintendo. I don't know why people didn't thought of doing that, but they changed from this design to this design. So I wanted to point that out there. F-Zero, don't have much memories of it. It's just a racing game. I'm too spoiled with GX though. GX, in my personal opinion, is the best F-Zero game. Kirby's Avalanche. This is Puyo. If you guys ever played Puyo Puyo Tetris, it's pretty much just Puyo, but with Kirby skin, but with a lot more broken mechanics. You can complete this game within half hour. It's a very, very good game, in my personal opinion. Not a must go buy though. But A Link to the Past. This is a very good Zelda game. One can say it's one of the golden age versus this one versus Ocarina of Time. Personally, I prefer Link to the Past way more than Ocarina of Time. Even though Ocarina of Time was the first one I played, this one's just more enjoyable. And who doesn't like Link with Pegasus shoes? Pegasus shoes, Bombos, all those items are really good. Next we have Star Fox. If you're in the Europe, they would call it, I believe, the Lilac Wars or something else. It's a very interesting game. This one's one of the few games that use that Super FX chip. So it's like you're gonna see like pseudo 3D kind of effects. It's very interesting, but completely outdated. Star Fox 64 pretty much blew this game's mind. So that's why I never finished it, actually. Super Mario All-Stars, one of the few games I have for compilations. This contains Super Mario Bros. 1, 2, 3, and Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels. There is a variant that includes Super Mario World as well, and that one's more expensive, but there's no reason for me to get that cart. But I may stream this on Twitch someday. I just don't know when I'm going to be doing it, because I'm not too fond of this. This is the best looking of the thing, but the thing is, though, we already have Super Mario Maker, and Mario Maker pretty much makes this pretty hard to go back to. So, and not only that, Mario Maker 2, as of this recording, is coming out soon onto the Switch. So, there's that. Super Mario Kart, also kind of outdated as well. It's probably one of the more difficult Mario Kart games to complete as well. But if you like a good challenge, I would go with this one. And they don't use the traditional four courses per cup. This one actually uses 5. So there's that, guys. RNG bites you in the dust. It really does. Super Mario RPG, one of the few turn-based games that I can actually tolerate. It's a very good game. Gold gem, pretty hard to complete. I've only completed it one time. But I may also showcase this game as well. I just don't know when. There's so many games to play, but so little time. Definitely would recommend it, though. It has some Final Fantasy references as well. Super Mario World. That's why I didn't buy the Super Mario World All-Stars variant, because I already have this one. Fantastic game. The very first Mario game I've ever played. Holy cow. It was so magical back then. I think this one still holds up, just not as well. It holds up better than Super Mario All-Stars, in my personal opinion, but I don't think most newcomers would want this game. I mean, it's a very good game, in my personal opinion. That's just probably because of nostalgic reasons, but I'd recommend it. Super Metroid, it can be pretty hard if you don't have a lot of energy, but it's a very good Metroid game. It's probably I argue this one's probably the second best. Metroid Zero Mission is probably the first one for me, and then this game, and then Metroid Fusion. But definitely one of the best SNES games ever made. So, we got Tetris Attack. So this is pretty much just Yoshi Island. This is a Yoshi Island puzzle game. Well, what I mean is that this was localized with Yoshi skin, but Tetris Attack. Its localized name is called Puzzle League, but I always call it Tetris Attack. Very, very good music. Not my best cup of tea for puzzle games, but I really do love the soundtrack of this game. And this is usually the variant that most people go with tournaments. Pokemon Puzzle League, not so much. I don't know why, but Tetris Attack is the variant that most people play for. Speaking of Yoshi, and this is the last game I have in my collection. Yoshi's Island for the Super Nintendo. I've already 100%ed this game once. I might do it again one more time and just be done with it. This game is actually really hard to complete. But if you want to just play through the levels and whatnot, this is the game for you. And this also uses a Super FX chip because it's kind of like a coloring book, but not really. So I would recommend it. And then the only two games I'm missing in this collection, which I don't think I'm going to get anytime soon, is Kirby Superstar. I have Superstar Ultra, so I don't really care for that variant. And then Kirby's Dream Land 3. It's a very, very hard game to find because it was released like around 1997, I believe. And this was already when Nintendo 64 was booming in business. So normally I would recommend 10 games, but since this collection is so small, I think we're going to reduce it down to 5, unfortunately. So if I were to recommend 5 games, guys, these would be definitely to be the following. And this is as if you're pairing up your Super Nintendo for the first time, buying a game, and you can't decide what games to buy to pair it up. So I would recommend these following games. As much as I hate to do this to Earthbound, I don't think most people are going to buy a Super Nintendo with an Earthbound. So, DKC1, definitely recommend it. It was my very first game I've ever played in my life. So, Conquest is as well. You don't need to play the sequel, but it's recommended you don't need to play the prequel to enjoy this game, but it's recommended you play Donkey Kong Country 1. But if you like a good challenge, and that's what most games lack these days, definitely go with this one. Link to the Past, don't need to talk about as much. It's already a legend for what it is. Same goes with Super Mario World already. And this is actually an odd choice, but I would recommend Yoshi's Island. I mean, it's very different from Super Mario World, despite it being like a quote-unquote prequel. But it's a very different game. So take that for a grain of sugar, but I enjoyed it. I just don't like completing it, though. So yeah, guys, that's my entire Super Nintendo collection. It's a very, very short video, but there isn't that much for me to talk about for Super Nintendo stuff. So if you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing on the YouTube channel. And if you really love Nintendo Variety, because we do a lot of Nintendo Variety on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/FrostyRB, I would definitely give that channel a follow, because we do a lot of Nintendo Variety from retro to modern and all that jazz, and we have a good time. So guys, that's all I have for you guys today. Stay chilly, keep gaming. I'll see you guys in the next video. All right.